Podcasting is networking. Café and Networking Podcast promotes business experts throughout the world. I'm Tom Reaoch, known as the King of Networking, connecting people and speaking from my studio in Brazil. Today we talk with Vinnie Potestivo. He's going to correct me afterwards. Joining us from New York City. Vinnie is a former MTV exec, helped launch celebrity talent during MTV's golden years. Now jumping into the spotlight himself as host, producer of the brand new podcast, I Have a Podcast. Vinnie is a media brand advisor, personal brand strategist, and content coach. So Vinnie, what are the three things anyone can do to increase their chances of getting discovered?
Oh yeah, for me, I think those three things are sum up in three words: inspire, impact, and ignite. And by the way, you nailed it. Both sides of my family say my last name both ways, depends on which side of the island you're from. So well done on that. Inspire, I'm excited to be on the networking podcast to talk about inspire others. Mm-hmm. All of my success in my projects, previous and future, come from one thing. It's the alchemy of who I'm doing them with. It's never about what our project, how our project stands out. It's never about the cameras and the usage and all the other technical sort of components to it. It's the who, not the how. And networking has helped me inspire people around me to take on tools that they wouldn't have otherwise known about, to pivot left when everyone else is pivoting right. Mm-hmm. And just to be included in their success. It all comes back from inspiring the process, inspiring others. And all of that inspiration truly is the alchemy of success when it comes to these creative projects and seeing success in these creative projects.
Well, the inspire comes to helping people get out of the chair and get up and go.
That's it, and give them direction. Sometimes we already have, momentum. We're already going 100 miles an hour, and it's just knowing where to meet up, where the road breaks are going to be, where the tentpole moments are going to be in our careers or in a piece of content that we're creating that allow us to drive it forward, and then also get to experience the growth. And you only get to do that when you take a step back.
Right.
The other part is impact. And this word impact to me stems from inspiration.
Mm-hmm. Today in the development where I am, this is gardening day, so they're probably cutting grass. Unfortunately, that's it. They're blowing grass. They're not smoking grass. They're blowing grass.
Yeah. Yeah, the ignition is kind of, for me, the most exciting part of the process. And I think that's why I stuck in development, in the development, pre-production, post-production, production, and then post-production. There are many phases, to creating content. And I've always tended to stay at the very top of the idea. I love being around the idea maker. I love being around the people who are making the decisions on how to form and create these projects. And I've seen new projects be ignited out of conversations. And those conversations come from consistently bringing opportunity and being accountable.
Well, where you are, New York City is sort of a haven for all of that. I mean, you just walk downstairs and go around the block, and you can be inspired by creativity any 3 seconds, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Also, you can inspire the creativity that will be leaving New York the day after, the morning now. I realize that about New York, and I'm from New York, and I'm from New York City, and I grew up knowing that people pass through New York. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere.
Right.
And to me, that always meant that people were going to test out New York, and then they were going to go to LA, or then they were going to go to Miami, or go to Texas or Colorado, or obviously as media, as the cameras got smaller, the places where we could be successful became larger, and that all ignites from consistently bringing opportunity and accountability.
No, I agree, because I've seen that the world converges in New York City.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it makes an impact, and that this is my third word: impact. Make an impact. With the right people. So we've already inspired people. We've already figured out the alchemy of our team. We've taken inventory. We know who we want to create, right? We've already ignited. We've started the process. We've started the conversations. We're talking to media partners. We're talking to audiences. We're trying to figure out the best way to deliver this. Now it's time to make impact. And impact does not end at the beginning of distribution. Like a lot of podcasters will actually end when the podcast airs. And I'm like, there's so much more. There's so many other ways, right?
There's a whole world out there.
Aggregating, distributing, being discovered, right?
Well, I found that, and I'm sure you have. Even back to your MTV time, right? The launching is just the beginning of a relatively large journey, and podcasting helps get that reach. But it becomes a legacy. It's like putting books out there constantly. They're going to be somewhere, and they will be picked up sometime by someone. It may not be tomorrow morning, but it's out there.
No, for sure. I mean, I've since 2006, I've been converting TV shows to podcasts, but I have 3 franchises on TV right now. Wild 'N Out on MTV, The Challenge on MTV, and Housewives of New Jersey on Bravo. But it's fun to think about, and I say I have 3 franchises on air now because those are relevant in production, shows. It's interesting, and that's in the broadcast world. It's interesting to think in this narrowcast world of podcasting, how timeless these episodes really can be. And for that reason, here's where I want to take Impact to. I want to take Impact to taking the shame away from asking to apply and be nominated for awards. I love helping people win awards. You want to be on award-winning lists because lazy network executives like me, when they say, go find a great lawyer who can go on TV, I'll go to 5 of the daytime talk shows that I know have legal correspondents on there, and I'll start working backwards on IMDb from people who've already given themselves credit, for people who've won awards. And also I want to point out this cool thing about Clubhouse, and if you're lucky to have, I have a LinkedIn audio event every single Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern. And I bring this up because that's my residency, and no one's paying me for it. I'm not Celine Dion, any of these artists that have these big Vegas residencies. But a residency is a big part of a celebrity construct. This idea of knowing where you can find me, and you can expect something and not know what that's going to be, and you can give yourself residency on Clubhouse. And if you have access, turn on creator mode, and if you have access to LinkedIn audio events. You have access to, and I love that audio is on LinkedIn. I love a new tool on a steady old platform. I love what's happening over at LinkedIn. It is a magical place for creators who do not identify as marketers or as advertisers, because there are a few of us pure sort of creatives who are creativists. In terms of thinking and executing, and I'm just appreciative of the space we're creating here now.
Well, I think really, I'm a great follower on LinkedIn. I can see it does add credibility, but to that, another word that I think is as important today is authenticity.
Oh, sure.
And what you say. So really, people will be hearing and seeing you as it is. The curtain comes up, and there you are.
Yeah, where I would recommend working on your authenticity strategy before your content strategy, mainly because then you become the content strategy. Otherwise, if you remove the authenticity piece, then your content strategy looks like a bunch of grids and shoot dates and line items. And by the way, I created that way for years. There's no reason why that's that. I'm just bringing up there's other options. And with podcasting, you have an ability to do something that I didn't get to do in TV, which is own it. And you want to own your content, especially because of what we alluded to here. The aggregation. I use a tool called Q. If you want to get your content as a blog shared by people on Reddit, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and they're looking for content, blogs about marketing, for example, they log into Q and they find your blog. And this allows them to find what you're saying without needing to find your podcast or your profile, all those wins that it needs to take for people to get the message. And if you want, vpe.tv/QUUU, 3 U's.
QUUU.
Yeah, did you say Utes? 3 Utes. vpe.tv/QUUU. It's the best way to aggregate blogs right now. And I'm converting podcasts into blogs, as you mentioned. For the sake of the SEO win that is not happening for podcasters unless they're taking the steps. So take inspired action, be impactful, and ignite those conversations. Ignite those careers and the energy around you.
Well, Vinnie, thanks for being parts of them. You've already mentioned LinkedIn, but how can our audience find you? There are many ways, but which is the prime time? Huh?
LinkedIn for me is number one. Twitter, of course, I'm at Vinnie Potestivo, and then my website is vpe.tv. So just 5 little letters, vpe.tv. And I look forward to saying hi. What's up?
Very good. Well, thanks again for being here.
Thank you.
All right, and for our audience, and it's Vinnie Potestivo. It's Vinnie, and the last name is Potestivo. On LinkedIn, where you'll find how Vinnie inspires, impacts, and ignites, and his website, which is vpe.tv, vpe.tv. Café and Networking is brought to us by Focus MI Market Intelligence, an agricultural market research specialist in Brazil. More information on their site, focusmi.com. Thanks for listening until the next time here at Café and Networking Podcast.